Hello and welcome to another edition of the Michigan Conservative Roundtable. Today I'm here with Kim on my right, TJ on my left. I'm Mac, and we're going to talk about red flag laws that are almost certainly coming to Michigan and the problems with them. Recently I was having a conversation with a neighbor, and I hit a sore spot with her by saying that I didn't think anyone could truly be a Christian while being pro-abortion. And that's my opinion. It's not stated as a fact, but she instantly took great offense to that, and she knows I'm a Trump supporter, so she declared me a white supremacist Nazi, and said so to my face, to my surprise. Now, she's known me for 3 years, and she always speaks well of me. In an instant, I became a white supremacist Nazi. So, had we had red flag laws in this state, I can imagine, in her anger, because I think this particular person may have had an abortion, abortions, who knows. Her argument for abortion, by the way, so let me just jam this in here in this argument, was that basically that women have to be able to have an abortions because they can't control themselves. Their sex drive is just too great, which is ludicrous, but that's another thing. So
they just can't say no.
Apparently not. Unless they get mad at you afterwards, and then they can.
I was going to say, that's not speaking very highly of yourself.
Yeah, right, exactly. So, no, it isn't. But, people get scrambled when you hit a nerve. So, if there were red flag laws in the state of Michigan, all she had to do was go in her house and dial the phone and say, that guy Mac over there, he's got firearms and he's dangerous. He says he wants to shoot people in the leg when they come across the border, because that's what she claims the president said he wants to do.
She always sees that yellow flag outside your door. The one
Don't tread on me flag?
Yeah, with the yellow serpent.
Yeah, right.
And,
it's
easily identifiable is what
ominous. Well, I was told that too is a white supremacy thing. Of course, it's a historical Revolutionary War flag. Asking for people just to leave us alone and let us live in peace and respect our private property and those kind of things. That's the symbol on that flag. But with the red flag law, it's that easy, is my point. Now, what would happen is they would come out, and they would confiscate all of my weapons, and then with a complete denial of my rights to due process, I might, in a few years, or as far down the road as they want to kick the can, I might be able to get a hearing and get my firearms back. And in the meantime, I could have people do a home invasion and slaughter me. Now, we're all gun owners and such, but none of us want crazy people to have guns. But who decides what the criteria for crazy is? The criteria for racism has certainly been broadened over the years. I mean, that can mean if you disagree with any minority on any issue, that you therefore are a racist, and now they've upped the game to white supremacist, as she accused me of being.
Essentially guilty until proven innocent.
That's where we go. And I was a little disappointed and upset with the president when he said due process might have to wait. That made me mad. I wondered if that might come back to bite him in his re-election bid, but I think it's kind of died down now and people have forgotten it.
Well, you were mentioning the crazies, and of course, and I'm gonna butcher the saying here, but when they reference the insane asylum, you got the patients of an insane asylum running the
asylum.
Asylum.
Yeah, that's basically what's happening in this country. These nuts that run around the country screaming from their vaginas at the president. I mean, I would question whether or not they should have firearms.
Yeah, and you mentioned in regards to your neighbor, Dad, it almost sounds like a guilty conscience to me.
Well, I definitely triggered her by mentioning the abortion thing, and I really didn't want to talk to her about abortion. I generally don't talk to people about abortion unless they bring it up. I don't think it's a personal choice to kill another human being.
The thing is who is to decide whether someone should own a gun because of psychological problems?
Right.
I mean, should a judge, are they really qualified sitting on a stand to make that decision? I mean, we need better guidelines as far as
Right.
who is to decide. I don't want crazies, people who are truly, truly insane.
Of course not.
I don't want people hurt, by insane people.
Right.
But on the other hand, I want someone that's totally qualified. I mean, we're looking at schools nowadays
Yeah.
who are letting teachers that are not trained decide if our children have psychological issues,
Right.
which are considered now part of the red flag problem.
Sure, I remember my youngest daughter was about 3 years old. I'm sorry, not 3 years old, but in the third grade. And she said, "Dad, do we have any guns in the house?" And of course, this perks my interest. I said, "Why do you want to know that?" She goes, "Because my teacher asked if you had any guns in the house." Now, I can't imagine what
Yeah, that's scary.
what conversation with third graders that was pertinent to. I mean, was she gathering information on me for whoever? I think that's what they want to do. This will always expand. We'll go from the truly crazies that need their firearms stripped from them to well, if you don't agree with me, we're going to come get your firearms because, I mean, we've seen this with the president. These doctors saying he has psychological problems or such, and they've not examined him. And no doctor worth his salt, I think you'll agree, Kim,
Right.
will make a diagnosis on any patient they haven't seen. So it's purely political. So this will become politicized as well. If you're on the right, you're crazy, you're a white supremacist. We're always out shooting up places, even though in fact it's the leftists who are out shooting up Republicans at softball games and such.
Well, you bring up what I always thought of as a double standard. If on the right you believe ... you're one of those whacked out extremists. But if you're, say, Antifa person busting windows in downtown Portland,
That's okay.
well, that can be summarily dismissed and explained, and we need to understand their rage,
Or they have the right to protest.
Yeah,
And that's true. They do have the right
stuff.
to freely assemble and protest, but they don't have the right to destroy private property or become
Burn
a mob.
buildings.
Yeah, burn buildings, become a mob, beat that journalist half to death.
You see the videos of Candace Owen and the guys that she hangs with, Kirk something or other, or something Kirk.
Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, and how they go to college campuses and they got people screaming in their face, fascist, fascist.
Yeah.
They're basically, they are, they don't realize it, but they are in essence what they're accusing Candace Owen and them
Oh, yeah.
of.
Absolutely. Well, we know the left is always accusing you of what they're doing.
And
But-
it's on YouTube, all you gotta do is do a search of Candace Owen or Charlie Kirk, and you got that other guy too, and I forget his name, but just you can see it on YouTube.
Sure. Well, let's go to a scenario. Now, New York has red flag laws. Now, we have them on a low level here in Michigan at the police. They can confiscate guns. Let's say TJ here and his lovely wife get into a domestic problem, and one shoves and the other shoves back. Well, they're going to take the firearms from that home at the wife's insistence.
Yeah.
She gives the nod, so I think I'm afraid of TJ, and I think he might want to hurt me. They're taking those guns. But in New York, they have these laws, and I wonder if they're going to be applied to Senator Schumer after he threatened 2 Supreme Court justices. Let any of us threaten a federal judge once.
Well-
It should be taken away from him. I mean, I'm serious.
Yeah.
I mean, has he met the criteria
You know
to
what?
have his guns
You know
taken?
what? Let you go ahead and stand on the porch of this same neighbor and do what he did to the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
All right.
If
There
you
you go.
if you say that to me again, you're going to be sorry. You'll pay a price. You won't know what hit you. I only have to use Schumer's words, and the Oakland County Sheriff will be visiting me.
Well, look at, we've got all these people who want gun control, but all of these people who are threatening others, all are guarded by people with guns or have guns.
Sure,
You know?
absolutely.
So why aren't their guns all stripped from them?
Well, that's not going to happen. Because we have a two-tier justice system that's pretty damn clear. I mean, if you lie to Congress and you're on the right, you go to prison for 9 years. And if you, Andrew McCabe, lie to Congress and to the FBI, his employer, then you just skate away. He was totally vindicated, he said. So, but red flag laws are dangerous on a whole bunch of levels. Let's say the neighbor in this scenario calls and makes a complaint against me, and I just happen to have my firearms out for whatever reason, and all of a sudden I see a SWAT team or something surrounding my house. Or I get the surprise that they just kick my door in and run in. Someone, and most certainly me, will be shot.
Well, and I've always felt red flag laws kind of lead to, the tattletale mentality.
Sure.
You know,
Right.
which is what the left really is dependent on. They're dependent on the tattletale mentality to advance whatever their agenda would be at the time. You know.
Well, if I see you backing out of my parking lot here today as you're leaving, and you bump a car, maybe I should call the police and say, this guy doesn't know how to drive. He's clearly intoxicated, or he's clearly lacking the skills. Are they going to come confiscate your car?
The skill set to drive.
Yeah, a skill set to drive. Well, there are many people, as you know, who don't have that. You see that on a daily basis. But, I mean, would they come and confiscate your car and let you come back in 6 months and we'll work it out after you have to spend... And when you get these guns back, if you ever get them back, and that's questionable, you have to go through a long legal process. You have to prove you're not crazy to someone who may be politicized. I mean, if they're going to appoint the doctors who decide, it will be political. And that's just another way to confiscate your firearms and leave you defenseless against gangs and home invaders. You guys have any other thoughts on that?
Nope.
Nope, okay. So we'll call it a wrap. And we always say at the end of our shows, be safe, watch your six, and don't tread on me. Okay, we got 5.